here's my song to you all, because you all inspire me all the time. And this song, you've heard me play it before, but I like to play it again. It's called Have Love, Give Love, Show Love Now. And please sing along with me, even if I can't see you. I know you might be singing, so.
Welcome everyone to our fellowship for today's Sunday service. It's so good to have you all joining us this afternoon. I love this feeling of community that we can get even virtually as we all come together on Sunday afternoon. I want to remind everyone that you can let us know you're here by making a comment or pushing the heart button so that everyone can see you. That just helps us get that wonderful feeling of community. So thank you again for deciding to spend some of your time with us today. I also want to thank Charity West for that beautiful song, for introducing our service this afternoon with such love and such heart. We love to have Charity with us. And now to begin, I'd like to invite everyone to join me in just a short centering meditation so that we can begin by releasing all of the busyness and really centering ourselves into the service this afternoon. So I invite you to close your eyes and let's just begin to relax and release all of the tension in our muscles, and let's just take 3 deep breaths together. Let's take an inhale and exhale. And breathe in and out. Letting all the tension just drain out of your body so easily. One more inhale. And out. And as we begin to really relax into this moment together, allow the concerns of the day, the busyness of the day, to just fall away. Just allow it to dissipate. And allow your personality to fall away, and our physical being, our physical limitations of these human suits that we're in. Just soften the boundaries of this physical being that we are. And together, let us bring our full awareness to our heart centers. I invite you to place your hands on your heart so we can maintain that focus on this beautiful, sacred center. In the center of stillness, our ego selves effortlessly and easily yields to our higher self, our inner being, our source, our creator, our God. And even in the midst of worldly conditions that swirl all around us, our hearts remain still and undivided, unified with love. Now, as you focus on your heart and this beautiful space, feel your heart energy rising and expanding into the infinite, universal mind of God. Feel your heart filling with the magnificent, dynamic power of light and love. And let's just rest in a few moments in this gentle, peaceful comfort. We can see within an illumination of love. And as we bring ourselves back into our bodies, we set the intention of holding this connection and feeling this connection in our very being, to the core of our being. And we're so grateful for the knowing that this peaceful, loving place is available to us always. We can release the chaos of the world and connect with love. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And now I'm happy to let you know that we have a special surprise, someone popping in to say hello.
Hi everyone, Charlotte here, Tarek, Layla, Rosalie, Bob, and Ryan, or Bob like Layla calls him. We miss everyone so much at the fellowship. We love all of you very much. We miss everyone, cannot wait until we see everyone again. And we hope everyone's enjoying the beautiful weather if you can, to get outside, and we can't wait to see you all again soon, hopefully.
Thanks so much to Charlotte and Tarek and Layla and those sweet little twins that came into the world while we were able to usher them in to our fellowship community as well. So thank you for that sweet little video. It was so nice to see all your faces. I have a reading for you this afternoon, and I picked up this wonderful book. I noticed that it was written about 20 years ago by Wayne Dyer. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. And I turned to this page, and it's called Sowing Love Toward the Hatred in the World. Wayne Dyer says, you can observe what appears to be hatred in the world in a myriad of forms. And we certainly know that, right? Yet into this world you are thrust with a natural inclination to love. When you make the shift to sowing love, when you are encountering hate, something unique happens. When you start to trust love and recognize that ultimately we are one with love, you make a huge impact on the low energy pattern of hate. Every single time you observe anyone in the world demonstrating hate, know with complete certainty that this person feels hated. And at the same time, know that this person is loved by God. As a witness or a recipient of hate, you are a spark of love. If you are able to sow love in response to hate, you will ultimately see hate become love. Then you know with certainty that hate is only an error created by the mind of man. Thanks to Wayne Dyer for that perfect message for this time in our world. And now I'd like to ask you to please take a moment to really be grateful for all of the abundance in our lives. We take this time each week, and I really believe it's such an important time to just remember how abundant our lives are and how blessed we are. With all that's happening in the world, we know at the fellowship here that we have the choice. We can choose peace, and we can choose to see abundance and experience abundance in our lives. And at the fellowship here, we're so grateful to all of you for making your contributions to our spiritual community. Everyone benefits from your loving donations. So I'd like to invite you to read with me our blessing of the tithes and offerings. You'll see it on the screen. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you. So comforting to know that. And now I'd like to introduce our special guest for this afternoon, Gary Lynn Floyd, who provided us with another song that we're sharing. Just settle in and enjoy this beautiful music.
O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. No greater blessing. Oh, great Spirit, neath moon and sun. Oh, great Spirit, no greater blessing. Oh, great Spirit.
Thank you so much, Gary, for sharing your love with us and your beautiful gift of music and song. We just really benefit from your presence here this afternoon, so thank you so much. And now I'm very eager to introduce our speaker for this afternoon. It's our own beloved Reverend Julie Dillon, and we all know that Julie brings such heart and love with her messages. She is that person that just exudes love, and we all are so grateful to have that reflected back to us. So let us settle in again and listen to Julie's inspiring message and meditation.
Hello, everyone. So glad to be here today. I'm going to start with a story. This is a Taoist story. And there was this wise old farmer who had spent many, many years working his crops. And one day, his only horse ran away. And upon hearing the news, the villagers came over and they were so saddened. They were just so upset, and they were saying how unlucky, how misfortunate that this event is, and that this would really affect his livelihood and to be able to have food. And the farmer, the wise farmer, replied, "Maybe. We shall see." And then the next morning, the horse returned with 3 other wild, beautiful horses. So the neighbors heard this news, and they came over and they were elated, and they were saying, "This is such good news. What great fortune, how lucky." And the farmer replied, "Maybe. We shall see." And then the following morning, the farmer's son went out to tame one of the wild horses, and he was thrown and broke his leg. So the villagers, upon hearing that news, they came over, and they were so upset to hear about this misfortune. And what are you going to do? And this is just so unfortunate, and to share their sympathy with the farmer. And the wise farmer just replied, "Maybe. We shall see." And then a couple of days later, and soldiers were coming into the village, and a war broke out, and they were coming to bring all the able-bodied young men to recruit them. And upon seeing the farmer's son with the broken leg, they passed him by. So again, the villagers, once they heard this news, they came over to congratulate the farmer and say, "This is just so wonderful. Oh, what great fortune, what great luck you have." And the farmer replied, "Maybe. We shall see." So that is a beautiful, beautiful story of equanimity. And today I'd like to just share some thoughts on equanimity. And in Buddhist psychology, the word equanimity is commonly used to describe the idea of balance. Just this evenness of temper in distress or really stressful situations. And this is so important to find, especially when all these overwhelming emotions arise. And equanimity is one of the 4 divine abodes. And Tara Brach, she is a Buddhist meditation teacher. She is the author of so many wonderful books. She describes each of these abodes as an expression as to what it means to be at home in the sacred. So just how beautiful. Another definition, it is the 4 key states of mind developed through a meditation practice. So these 4 divine abodes are love, compassion, joy, and 4th, equanimity. And I think for many of us, we all seem to we would love to have more love. We would love to have more joy, more compassion. This 4th, I think sometimes this equanimity point, I don't know if we quite give that as much attention. And what Tara Brach has said, this equanimity makes all these other qualities possible. So equanimity is inner balance, a spaciousness of presence, a non-reactive awareness. So when we are able to come and to rest and to be in that inner balance, that spaciousness that is created, all these other qualities, the qualities that we love, this loving kindness, compassion, and this joy, they all can arise naturally. So here we can move into the next moment with equanimity and with our full hearts. And we can be more like more like the wise farmer in our Taoist story, and not like the villagers. And now I'd like to just talk about a cartoon that I had just recently I saw, and it is their two mice are on their own individual spinning wheels. And the one is just frantically going, spinning, spinning, spinning. And the other mouse is just resting on the bottom of that cage of the wheel. And he's just relaxing and sitting there. And that the caption underneath, it says, "I had an epiphany." And what does that mean? And I think I see it as a good reminder that at any time we can choose to slow down that spinning, and maybe it isn't stop. I like the idea of even choosing to be able to slow, to notice, start the slowing down, and that can be our obsessive thinking, right? We've got a lot of things that are presenting right now that could take us to these places of just going off on that wheel. And so watching those negative thoughts, and it could be just noticing we're just keeping ourselves so busy, and so we're not looking at things that we really should be spending a little bit of time looking at. So our task is to remember we get to choose at any given moment. We can pause, and that create that spaciousness, that pause, and we can breathe. That breath just helps so much. It takes us right to that place where we need to be in this moment, instead of spinning off and off into those other bad neighborhoods that I like to think of. And so we can enter these other moments with presence, with true clarity, with balance, and responding from our heart versus responding from our reactive brain or primitive, that survival part of our brain that just wants to meet all of our needs, right? And that's not that place we want to respond from our true inner guidance, our true wisdom. So in our current time, important to do what that mouse did. Stop that spinning, pause. And it could be going for the walk in the woods, like Richard in that beautiful documentary last week. He beautifully was shown. And it's important to realize we are all experiencing this stress and reactivity. You know, we've got the pandemic. We have so much going on, the uncertainty, these threats, and no surprise that we are experiencing this reactivity and stress. So being able to step off, or just even slowing down those thoughts. It's just a tremendous gift that we give to ourselves and also to others. And I know that we want to be this truly loving presence, that calm refuge. And that's for us and for all of us, for those all around us. And we know that rippling effect. So how do we do this? Tara Brach, that I mentioned earlier, she uses what she calls like a mantra, or it's a mindfulness skill, you could call it a tool, of these simple words, just this. So this was the name of the talk. Just those two words, just this. So it is just it's a skill that we get, where we can work on to cultivate how we can get from that reactive place to to get to this more balanced place where we can respond and come from that place of inner wisdom. So let's see. So naming this, just this. So then let's fill in the blank. We'll just look at this for a little bit. And maybe it's noticing when we're spinning just this anxiety, just this fear. Could be just this anger that has come up with something someone said. Could be on a news feed. Could be just this sadness. And maybe underneath it's just this concern. Maybe it's just this deep caring. And you could also use, she mentions, you could use the words this too. So if that's something that resonates with you, maybe looking at what's going on and say this too. So it's here we're really looking at this energy of these feelings, and we're not trying to stuff them. So, or it could be as simple as yes. So this is a tool to help you get back to this non-judging presence. So right here, and right here, when we can name what is going on, what's stirring us up, right? And really, really looking at it, we can just come from this much, much better place, a wiser, more loving place, right? And really tuning into that voice of love. And rather than reacting to the fear of the waves, she uses the wave analogy, and it's just lovely. We can remember that we are the ocean that can include the waves of fear. And this is the gift of equanimity. Buddhist monk Pandito describes this blessing as a heart that is ready for anything. Wow. And when we trust that we are the ocean, we are not going to be as afraid of those waves. We will have the confidence that whatever arises is manageable. And we don't have to keep spinning. We don't have to keep spinning. And we are free to live fully with what is here and to respond wisely on this inner guidance, the voice of love. And we get here to become the wise farmer rather than the villagers, right? And the villagers who are reacting to ups and downs and ups and downs. And now externally, a way to get back to equanimity and presence is limiting, and I'm just throwing this out here, I believe is limiting our time on the internet and watching the news. I think this can really help with creating more inner balance and with our practices of equanimity. I know a lot of spiritual teachers that I really admire. They have taken these pauses. They have taken these breaks, and that's going to look different for everyone. But I really do want to mention it because I know it has helped me cutting back. And this doesn't mean you're not showing up in the world, you're not participating. What it does mean is you're taking those pauses when you need to refill and get some good nourishment. And now you can be participating in the causes, things that have really true meaning to you, but you're coming from a place of this heart space, a place of being really present and not agitated and not full of just really strong emotions. So at this point, I just say maybe take an honest look at what is working and what is not. And I like to check in with my body. That's always a really good sign. My shoulder, I've got a left shoulder that tells me, things, to slow down. And then I can pause, I can breathe. I can look at what's going, maybe name it just this. Okay, just this grief. And I think grief has been a wonderful teacher for me. And now I've gotten to be at a different level because I've been doing a lot of work with it. So when I can name it, it takes the sting out of it. And I can get into that next, I can breathe through it, and I can look at things with a little more clarity. Hopefully I can get back to my meditation practice. And so it has helped, it definitely has helped for me, cutting back on watching some of those, some of the news and the internet, some of the internet feeds. So an interesting fact, Gandhi, he took off every Monday for a day of silence every week. So Monday was his day. And he said, so he could make his actions could arise from a wisdom of heart. So that pausing, so his actions could arise from a wisdom of heart. So internally, what do we do when we are reactive, right? And we're all going to be reactive. We're programmed. We're going to react with what is going on. And how do we come back? How do we come back? How do we slow down on the wheel? How can we be more like that wise farmer, especially with what is going on today? These world issues, this pandemic, there's these injustices, there's so much. And then you have what you're going through in your own lives, in your families. It could be health issues. One way, as I mentioned earlier, is this mindfulness skill of learning to come back to just this. And it just sounds so simple. And quite honestly, that's why I love this. It can be, because I think we need to, it's just to remember to come back. And just a side note, I'm posting things around the house to help. And I don't know if that connects with you, but little sticky notes, just this, or it could be choose peace, or whatever words that connect with you, putting them in different locations, put one on your dashboard. So naming what exactly is happening at the moment. When you're on that spinning wheel, coming back to right now, and just trying to the best we can, maybe to relax our body, to breathe, and then to say to just this, okay, just this, agitation, just this, powerlessness, just this. So when we learn this pathway to inner peace, it's really a pathway to our higher self, right? Our deepest wisdom. And we all have this inner guide. It's part of who we are. It's our innate capacity, a wise, loving heart space. And we have it. We have it. And like all positive states, it can be cultivated. Neuroscience tells us the more we practice equanimity, this listening to our divine guidance within, the more this pathway is available to us. It becomes more from a state to a trait. So it's practice. It's practice. And we can do this. We can do this. Because we don't want to be on that wheel. It's going to help us so many ways, from physiologically, our emotional, our spiritual health. So during the day, if you notice when you're starting to get anxious, maybe it's taking 1 minute. It could be a 30-second break. It's just pausing and just name what's going on and call it just this. Maybe you use the word this too. And let it move through you. You're not avoiding it, you're not stuffing it, and that's not we know that doesn't work. The more you practice, it's practice, the easier it will be to live in a more non-reactive state. And here I was going to share my story. Just this week, my daughter mentioned that there was a shooting very close to where I live. And when I heard this, boy, I was spinning frantically. And I'm thinking, oh, there's guns, all this violence, and gangs, and I'm gonna move, and all these thoughts that just really popped up. And I was able to calm, breathe, create this pause. And at that time, I was able to think, oh, gosh, I hope that little girl is okay. Gosh, her family. And to send some prayers, some blessings and love to them. And then later on in the day, when I was in my meditation practice and at a even a more resourced place, and by actually, slowing down, and actually at that point I stopped. At that point I'm off of the wheel, right? I think of that as when I'm meditating. I was actually off the wheel. Then the thoughts that came was I could send love and blessings to that family, the little girl, and even to the person, whoever shot this girl, and to know that this is another child of God. And I think of the suffering that person must have been to do this, to randomly shoot. So I'd like to think I could get there right away, but it took some time. But that's the practice. That's what we get to do with the work that we're doing, right? That could be that power of equanimity. And I do want to just take a moment and thank someone who was so instrumental to me in learning how to send blessings and love to people that have been a trigger for me, and that's Brad. So Brad, I just want to say thank you, because you really have made a difference. So, and I'm glad I could get to that place, because in the past I would have been still on that wheel, and that's not helpful. That's not me. I can't be a helpful, loving presence to others when I'm there. Okay, and now before we start the meditation, I just took my little 30-second check-in, and I noticed my shoulder was starting to feel a little tension. So this is what we can do during the day. Okay, so I'm just gonna shake a little bit. I'm gonna roll that shoulder and see if you feel like standing up. Maybe you need to stand up, do a little shake, and that's okay, right? And especially with the stress, I think, we think of all the things that might help. So developing this noticing skill. All right, so let's set up. Let's find a place that's comfortable. And if you're sitting on that chair, just see if you can find your sit bones and just really, really take a moment to find your feet. And maybe close your eyes. And let's just take some nice, slow, full breaths. And we're in this nice, open, wide position. And think of it as a position that helps us to be in a real present state. And now I'd like you to just check in with yourself and see if there's something just right now at this moment that might be triggering you. It might be someone said in your family. It could be, and maybe it's a triggering situation or event. And then I'd like you to just pause. And then take some of those slow, deep breaths. And just sense what you're feeling. Is it anger? Is it fear? Powerlessness? Sorrow? maybe under all of that, it's just that deep, deep concern or care, deep, deep caring. We're just naming it. And then support yourself by saying just this. So filling in that triggering feeling. Just this anger. Just this. Maybe it's just this shoulder that's really tense. Maybe it's just this upset stomach. Just this heart pounding. Or you can use the words just this too. This too. And giving yourself an interested and allowing attention. And if judgments come, this too. Just this too. And of course, if the judgments are there, don't judge the judgments. Resistance is there. Just name it. This too. This too. Everything can be included in this pause. Just this. Breathing with what's happening. You're being with the waves. With these feelings. And letting these feelings, let them move through you. Then beginning to sense the space that they are happening in. Maybe it's the spaciousness and opening. And you can witness this opening. Just allowing them. And you can feel these waves. And they are part of you. But they are not the whole you. There is a space for them to rise and fade. And now sense all those practicing here at the fellowship with you and others in this beautiful shared heart space, this loving, loving space that can include the changing waves. And let us include everyone's experiences right now. Those struggling with fear, hurt, anger, all can be held, all can be supported. And truly sense the possibility of the heart that is ready for anything. And being in this space, can you this place of presence? What are other possibilities that you see available to you? What other way can you respond? Here, you can now respond from your heart space. And you are really responding from the truth of who you are. And that truth is always here. I'd just like to end with a quote from Saint Teresa of Avila. There is a sacred place, a radiant sanctuary. This magnificent refuge is inside you. Be brave and walk through the country of your own wild heart. Be gentle and know that you know nothing. Be still. Listen. Keep walking. No one else controls access to this perfect place. give yourself your own unconditional permission to go there. Waste no time. Enter the center of your soul. Thank you very much. Much love.
What a beautiful service. It's just always so heartwarming to come to this point in our service and really realize all of the amazing and beautiful, divinely sent guidance and inspiration that we receive when we're here together. And thank you, Julie, for that beautiful message. And you always bring good suggestions with you on how we can practice and live these principles in our daily lives. So thank you again. Thank you, Charity West and Gary Lynn Floyd, of course, for your beautiful music. And thanks to all of you for joining us this afternoon. I hope you really received something that was impactful and powerful for you, that you can take into your week and really make use of. I just have a couple announcements before we get into our Peace Circle. Julie Ross is going to be offering a sound healing session this coming Thursday, October 29th at 6 p.m., and that'll be live streamed on Facebook. We haven't had one in a while, so this would be a good time to really take advantage of her calming and peaceful presence and this wonderful healing that she offers us. And a reminder that Dr. PMH Atwater is rescheduled for November 5th. That's a Thursday evening again from 7 to 8:30. We got everything straightened out and we know that she will be joining us. So I hope you put that on your calendar and return for that wonderful talk with her. And now it's time for us to all envision and create this virtual huge peace circle that we have and put our hands out and feel the energy of our fellowshipians, everyone that's joining us. Let's just feel the energy that is swirling around this wonderful peace circle, and we'll be singing our peace song and then saying our closing blessing, and the words of that blessing will be on the screen. I just want to say thank you again for being here. I love you so much. I think about you all the time and see your beautiful faces and your beautiful smiles, and look forward to seeing you again next Sunday.